Welcome to the She Makes Africa podcast, powered by the AWEC Alumni Network. Across Africa, women entrepreneurs are driving the continent's growth, making up 58% of Africa's business founders. Yet the journey of entrepreneurship is often a path filled with both triumphs and trials. It can be a lonely road, but women are rising above these challenges, building resilience, and turning struggles into success. In this podcast, we bring you inspiring stories from African women entrepreneurs who are paving the way for others. Join us over the next 15 to 20 minutes as we explore their journeys of perseverance, growth, and empowerment. We hope their stories ignite your passion and encourage you to keep pushing forward.
Welcome to this episode of the She Makes Africa podcast. I'm Priska Mufunde, and I am from AWEC Cohort 4. My company name is the Maker Club, and it's in the education industry. I'm joined by my co-host, Frida. Frida, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yes, I would. Hello, everybody. I am Frida Muyambo. I run a project consultancy called Hulu Consulting, and it focuses in project management skills training within any engineering-based industry. And I'm from Cohort 2. I'm also in Zimbabwe. Priska, where are you?
I'm in Zimbabwe.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, so today we have a very special guest from the AWEC community, and we've invited her to share specifically about how she is helping women expand their brands using business and personal branding. So, Atinuke, please introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about your business and what led you to become an entrepreneur.
Hey, my name is Atinuke Babatunde, and I run a business called Brand Fusion. Now, what I do in Brand Fusion, I help small business owners with a special bias towards women-owned businesses with their branding and marketing. I'm from Cohort 1, and I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. The question regarding what made me become an entrepreneur, I would like to say I'm what you would call an accidental entrepreneur. And I say that because initially I didn't set out to be an entrepreneur. I had a wonderful career, love what I was doing in the area of branding and marketing. I was the senior brand manager for Airtel at the time. And then I went to do my MBA. And while doing my MBA, I found out that I really loved marketing. Excuse me. I also found out that most of my colleagues, my classmates, always came to me to ask for branding ideas, branding help, marketing help. And because I came from a background of over 20 years branding and marketing, people just felt that I knew something about branding and marketing, which was true because that was what I was doing in my telecom space as at that time. And so it just started that idea of, okay, people, especially small businesses, are actually struggling with how to build a brand that stands out, that is differentiated, a personal brand, a business brand. Maybe I should start helping. And that was how I started helping. And then along the way, I registered my business, and the rest, like they say, is history. This was in 2017, and I've been doing that till now.
Wow. So entrepreneurs are like superheroes with no fear, because you've just told us that you left, you branched out from your career with Airtel and went into doing this completely new thing. And you're a living, breathing example of, what an entrepreneur really is. I think, you found something that was valuable to others. There was a lot of passion behind it, and you went for it. So does it mean you've left Airtel completely? Like, did you dive in?
Yes, so I was going to come back to that. So I left Airtel, At the time when I started Brand Fusion, I was still at Airtel. But while starting Brand Fusion, I moved jobs. So my story is very funny because till date, some people are not sure, is she just Brand Fusion, focusing on Brand Fusion? Does she have another life? So I actually do have another life. I'm currently the Academy Director for Multi-Choice Talent Factory West Africa. And so
Oh,
I
wow.
moved into the TV and entertainment space. Again, doing something new, something different, television, entertainment, but I didn't leave my passion for branding and marketing. And I'm fortunate to work in an environment where they encourage you to pursue your other passions and your other dreams. So I'm what you call a career girl by day and an entrepreneur by night. So I wear those two caps, and I dare to say that I've been able to hold them without dropping any major balls. I mean, as women, you drop one or two balls, but make sure the balls you're dropping are not the really major important ones. So even though I branched off completely from Airtel, I did go into pay TV, entertainment, working for MultiChoice, still working for MultiChoice as an academy director, but I'm also building the Brand Fusion brand, helping business owners, especially women, with their branding and marketing.
Mm.
It's an
I
amazing
think
story of career mobility. Sorry, Prista,
it is.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I think there are many women out there who would resonate with that, who are juggling multiple roles,
Yeah,
full-time occupation by day, and then
yeah.
pursuing their passion by night. And it's testament to great resilience and
Mm-hmm.
determination. And like you say, we end up with lots of balls in the air. And it's a matter of understanding the ones that are really important that must not be dropped. Um, and yeah, no, so well done. That's really,
Thank
really
you.
amazing.
Yeah.
So diving into what you're doing with Brand Fusion, we would really love to understand how you're working with women to improve their business and personal branding. And maybe you could start us off by just explaining what is this thing called business and personal branding?
Okay. So business and personal branding is, I mean, they're both branding, but they are slightly different in the sense that when you're building a personal brand, all you're doing with a personal brand is you're consciously and intentionally positioning yourself as an expert in an industry. So you've both mentioned your businesses and what you do. It means that somehow for you to be doing the businesses you're doing, you're an expert in those businesses. Now, the challenge or the mistake a lot of small business owners make is you're busy building, especially for people that have brands that are maybe product or service related. You're building the brand, but you're not building your personal brand. So the personal brand is, I have a business, but I'm using the things I'm doing in that business to position myself as an expert in my industry, so that when they're talking about that industry in any circle, they will remember my name or remember the name of my business because I've deliberately built that culture, that thing in the minds of the audience or the consumer. Now, for a business brand, it starts with things as basic as your business name, your business logo, your colors, the things we call your brand identity. A lot of business owners don't know that when you're building a brand, you start from the beginning and you're deliberate from the beginning. I was invited to speak at one of the general assemblies for AWEC, I think for last year. And one of the questions one of the ladies asked was, she said she was tired of her brand colors and she was bored because she's had the same brand colors for 4 or 5 years and she wanted to change. And so she was asking, can you change your colors when you're bored with the colors? And I said no, because when you're building a brand, things as simple as your colors matter. Things as simple as the logo you choose. Take, for instance, Coca-Cola. They've had the same red color since forever. I don't know if maybe you guys know Coca-Cola with a different color. I've known them as red. all my life. So
Yeah.
when you're building a brand, what you're doing is you're differentiating yourself, you're differentiating your business in such a way that it stands out from the many other people doing similar things or look like what you're doing. And that's why you can have a Samsung and an iPhone until forever. There'll be that war between Android users and iPhones, but they're both holding their own. So for small businesses, when you're building a brand, it just means whether it's personal or business brand, you're looking for ways to differentiate yourself and stand out in the market where many people are doing things similar to what you're doing.
More after the break. This is the She Makes Africa podcast, brought to you by the AWEC Alumni Network. We are here to build a community for African women entrepreneurs. If you have a story to tell, share it with us. Also, if you know a sister who could benefit from the AWEC program, encourage her to sign up and make a difference. Subscribe to our podcast on YouTube or on Spotify for podcasters if you would like to help us expand our reach. Like, share, comment. Thank you for listening. Wow. Wow. Well, Atinuke, I am so inspired by what you're doing, your journey. I am taking notes and I'm sitting here thinking, man, this is a woman on top of her game. And, I want you to be my business mommy. Can you be a mentor? So, but I'm really curious, you're on top of your game. You know exactly what you're saying. I can clearly hear that, that Coca-Cola example is and precise. But can you share a bit about your AWEC journey?
Okay.
What drew you into AWEC and what are the two top things you learned on the program that have significantly impacted your business?
Oh, in fact, there's so many. I could go on and on about AWEC and the journey and how AWEC impacted my business. So I got drawn into AWEC by chance. My husband saw the advert and sent it to me. And he said, this looks like something you've been interested in. Look at it and see if you're interested. And that was it. So I looked at it. I liked what they were saying. Remember, I was cohort 1. And then I went through the application. You know how it is with the application. I was really determined to get it. I did everything. I did the video. I put it out there and I was like, fingers crossed, hoping I'll get called. And when I got called to be one of the 200 women out of all the many applications, I was excited. Excited because I saw that I was going to go through a 1-year training that involved different aspects of growing a business entrepreneurship. The two things that stood out greatly for me was the trainings on digital platforms and expanding your market using digital means. At the time I joined AWEC, Brand Fusion had just started and I was trying to find my way around what to do with it. The way how I started Brand Fusion, it's a story for another day because it literally started on Instagram. I opened an Instagram page, started teaching people, and that was how the brand started in terms of operations. But I knew that just being on Instagram was not sustainable. And so when I joined AWEC and the topic around building a digital platform, training, and all that, I soaked myself into that training. I learned everything I could learn. And then after the training, I went out to get more knowledge. And what I found out was I could actually make income from building digital platforms, trainings, courses where people will buy or sign on to any of my courses, whether I'm there or not, or if they want a one-on-one mentorship kind of program, or if it's a group class and all that. So AWEC helped me to build my first online platform where I had my first registration was, I think I had about 40 students or 20 students signed on to my online platform because I learned something from AWEC, talking about digital platforms, expansions, and all. And from that time till date, about 80% of my business is actually done online. So I don't have those overheads of brick and mortar. I don't have the overheads of having to be physically present. My students, my clients literally meet me online. Money is exchanged, and then we sometimes, if it's the online course, they start doing it without me being there. And if it's one-on-one, then we plan. So that was one thing AWEC did for me. The second would be the power of collaboration. AWEC was very, very particular about collaborations, about coming together to do things together. I remember one of the presentations, myself and one of the ladies from, I think it was Tanzania, we both did a workshop together and we presented. And so even after AWEC, I'm very particular about collaborations. I'm very particular about sharing and building things together, because that's one thing AWEC taught me.
That's absolutely wonderful. I am super inspired. Priska, what do you think? Like I'm just, we're in a community of incredible change makers, life givers, uplifters.
We definitely are. And I think we take for granted the power of the AWEC program. And
yes,
it's amazing to me to actually learn that you came in and your business was at one stage, and by the time you left, you had an online platform, you had signups, you had real clients.
Real clients, yes.
And your business was at a different level. That is
completely
really amazing. Yeah. And the whole power of collaboration, I completely agree with you. There is such power in being part of this amazing community. Gives you access to information, to support, to tools, to resources. It's just, there's nothing like AWEC out there.
Yeah. I agree.
Yep, you're totally right. And you know what? Community, we have heard it. Atinuke has shared her story of how she is helping women expand their brands using business and personal branding. Atinuke, we are so grateful that you've taken this time. If anyone wants to reach out to you, can you share again how they can do that, and perhaps your platform before we close?
Yeah. I can be reached on Brand Fusions, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not very active on Twitter. I'm still trying to get my head around it. But on Instagram, I'm very active. I show up there every day. Brand Fusions. There's an S at the end. BRANDSION. No, F. Sorry, where is my spelling? BRAND, brands, then Fusions, FUSIONS. And then I can also be reached on my website, www.brandfusionacademy.com. So those are the two places you can reach me on.
Okay, so thank you so much, Atinuke, for your time.
Thank
you. Definitely been very interesting. I loved your definition of personal and business branding and how those are different. And I think that sometimes as entrepreneurs, we're so stuck in developing the business brand, we miss out on the very important
the opportunity.
personal.
Very important. Yes.
Very, very important. And so I hope that those who are listening, please get in touch with Atinuke on those handles that she shared, and get clued up, and maybe even join one of her courses and learn more. We would love to hear what your key takeaways are from the podcast, so please leave a comment in our comment section, and also let us know what actions you've been inspired to take by this conversation.
Once again, thank you very much for joining the She Makes Africa podcast, brought to you through the efforts of the AWEC Alumni Network. Until next time, let's collaborate.